I'm a believer in long-term care insurance. And really, this hearing is more about the budgetary gimmicks that were used to force through the Affordable Care Act, which really, if I can't remove the Affordable Care Act, I'd like to at least remove the word affordable from the title. But nevertheless, this is a hearing about the classic Washington whodunit, what did you know and when did you know it? But I am a believer in long-term care insurance. I purchased a long-term care insurance policy long before I came to Congress, after I turned 50, on the advice of my mother, and I encourage other people to do the same. Now, Mr. Waxman says that it's going to be too expensive for seniors to do that. My premium is a little less than $100 a month. I don't know what the premiums would have been in the Class Act, but they certainly would not have been benefits as substantial as the ones that I've purchased in the private sector. And I'm not always dependent upon the federal government to end up doing the right thing. We heard Mr. Pallone talk about a 15-year exclusion. Well, I didn't have a 15-year exclusion on the policy that I bought. Now, Congress could do something to make it easier. You could let me pay for that with pre-tax dollars, full deductibility of long-term care insurance. Why don't we do that? You could let me pay for it out of my health savings account. Why don't we do that? These are simple things that are within our reach and grasp that I frankly do not understand why we won't tackle. And Mr. Pallone talked a little bit about some of the words that were used. I was encouraged to hear him use the word premium support. Yeah, that's a good idea, Frank. We've got some place to talk about there. But he also referred to us as opponents. And I remember that night in July of 2009 when the Class Act first appeared in this hearing room. The Class Act appeared at the last minute as a placeholder language that Mr. Pallone brought to the markup, never had a hearing on it, never called a witness on it. We were just presented with this information and, oh, well, we'll fill in the details later. Well, now it's later, and we're filling in those details, and some of those details don't look too encouraging. It looks like the Class Act was a budgetary deception to mask the actual cost of the Affordable Care Act. And people are rightly asking now, would we have passed the Affordable Care Act had the true extent of the budgetary impact been known? Again, what did they know and when did they know it? Because in the spring of 2009, May 19th to be precise, the chief actuary for Center Medicare and Medicaid Services talked about the financial structure of this program would be, quote, a terminal problem for the program. So he knew that in May of 2009. Why didn't we discuss that in July of 2009 when we were doing the markup on H.R. 3200? I think that would have been a service to the committee and a service to the people if we could have had those hearings, but we didn't. So here we are. It's a fact of life. We all age, and at some time we're going to rely on some form of long-term care insurance. I'll just say again, I can think of no more loving gift for parents to leave for their children than to take care of their needs if that need were to arise and relieve the children of that burden. We never got a chance to fully debate this. Mr. Waxman, I would say class dismissed, and then we need to work on